It started out a year ago January, and the first month was a typical history class. I gave them write-ups about the town of Hartford. They had to create a timeline for our town, and a lot of them knew that we were going to be using technology, but the first couple of weeks we didn't touch computers. It was all reading and trying to get some background. And then I introduced them to SketchUp, and that's when they started buying into the class. They went through the tutorials of SketchUp and the self-paced one, as well as some YouTube tutorials. And then they started taking pictures of the building and creating the buildings, and that's when they got hooked. The SketchUp itself, it's an addictive piece of software. It's something that once you start using it, you want to keep using it. And we've been driving around Vermont, and as we're driving around, they're watching SketchUp tutorials on my van DVD player, and which is pretty nerdy, but it's funny. They drive by buildings and they say, "Oh, that'd be cool to sketch it up," and it's pretty interesting to see the transition that they made from a history class to a digital architecture class with the history as kind of a background. But the great thing is that everybody else gets to see the history because of the passion that they've gotten for designing the buildings.
Doing something that people around the world can see every day is intriguing. That's kind of what brought me into the class in the beginning. Using the technology and just doing new stuff instead of just working out of a textbook all day and writing papers. You're doing stuff that other people can see all the time.
The only I'm most proud of would probably be the Wave Reviews building, which is in downtown River. It's clean, so I'm pretty proud of that one.
I'm modeling a railroad grid in downtown White River Junction right now. It's really cool because I can go on any computer in the world and see a building I created on Google Earth.
Talking with teachers around the state, this is something that I've been encouraging, especially foreign language teachers who are always trying to find a way of getting the culture into their classroom. I told them, go on Google Earth. You can go to Rome and see the Colosseum, and you can go to France and see the Eiffel Tower. And you can see these buildings, and you get a better feel when you actually get to see the 3D model versus always looking at a map or a picture of it. So I think it's something that more and more teachers are going to start using it in their daily lessons. I teach a freshman cultural geography class, and I use it for everything. I mean, to show Hong Kong and the number of buildings and the size of the buildings in such a small area. If I didn't have Google Earth, you could show a picture or a map, and it's just not the same. We're actually physically getting down at the street level and walking around, and it's really a nice little added piece to my lesson plans. Some teachers may say, that the book history is more important, but I feel like the end result is these guys are teaching versus learning, and that's when you really become a student, is when you make that transition to teaching. So I think learning to SketchUp is really important for a history class like this.
I teach integrated technology. I do 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. It's kind of like industrial arts, but kind of souped up a little bit. My 8th graders do planning, and what that means is they come up with projects and they have to be value added. So I give them a raw material and they have to make it into something else. And they have to use Google SketchUp to prototype it so they don't waste materials. They're pretty much limited only by their imagination. I have anywhere from chairs to shelves to desks to hoverboards to anything they want to make. Before I let them leave the prototype in SketchUp, they have to do the structure. The biggest thing I find the kids have a hard time is they don't understand that they have to come up with some way to structure it. So what I make them do is, once they get their design, I have them say, okay, if you took the skateboards off, what would be your structure? And they have to draw that in SketchUp. One thing I like about SketchUp for them too, or in the Google stuff, is they like it. They get right into it. They'll start playing with it, and you'll have to kick them off it. SketchUp's pretty fluid, and also SketchUp, you can do it at home, here. It doesn't matter whether they have Mac or PC, and they can do it anywhere.